what I'm looking at is just a regression JJ McCarthy, but it's just because of the fact that I guess pass rush play teams are not letting him sit in
What
pocket.
do you think it is?
I think it's just a digression where you know how a player kind of maxes out because of the fact that they know they have their guaranteed target in Justin Jefferson. What happens whenever a team takes away your first read? Are you capable of reading this other one? I think he can, but I think it's just level of just skill and talent of making plays to be able to create plays to stay open. But Green Bay's pass rush is just getting after him. But they're a team that's dealing with injuries. But I think I said it a couple weeks ago. I think he took a little bit of Carson Wentz's energy when it comes to how he creates plays. He took a little bit of his risk taking type of style of football play, and he's applied it to his game, and it's made him digress. That's just my opinion. So I saw 2 picks, but it's just unnecessary picks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's a game that the reason why I didn't want to talk about it too much because I still need to go back and really look at why things has fallen apart because it's been like that the last couple of games. They started off strong, then he got injured. Then he's trying to get back into a rhythm. But when I'm looking at just overall talent, I'm actually kind of surprised that he's been able to do what he's done to this point as being as productive because I thought that coming out of Michigan he was surrounded around a lot of talent. I mean, John Harbaugh had so much talent up there at Michigan that surrounded him, so he was as productive as he is. But looking at it now, it's like, well, whenever Carson Wentz was playing quarterback, he was just as productive.
Just as productive.
Like, I don't see nothing. I see what Carson Wentz is JJ McCarthy as what Nick Foles with Philly was to Carson Wentz when he got injured in Philly. It looks like the same thing when I'm looking at as far as maximal talent and being able to. I don't want to necessarily say galvanize the team around you, but in a sense, it is galvanize the team around you to make them believe that we can still win with you as our quarterback. And when I'm looking at, just the skill set, I mean, they're kind of maxed out at that position a little bit. They have a great defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, yeah, you have a great defense, but it seems like, you want to say, well, they need to feature Justin Jefferson more. Well, what happens whenever these are NFL teams that are taking your best playmaker away? How are you going to emphasize now? Can I blame that all on JJ? No. It's the second year of him even trying to even be healthy. His first year, he didn't get to play. It was almost like the Ben Simmons effect. He's a rookie, but technically he's not in his first two seasons.
That was like red shirt almost, you know what I mean?
Kind of like a red shirt.
Yeah, time to come in, learn, grow, experience, get a little stronger, get faster, learn how to make reads, learn how to be a pro. Now he's coming out and he has to prove it. He has to show it,
And he's trying to prove it and show it in a time span of not being on the field enough.
Yeah, so his expectation is you're supposed to be ready now. And he's just like a freshman still. He's like, I'm now just getting my reps. And relearning my body.
Yes.
Because he's been injured.
So you're having to relearn your body. Plus, what are teams going to do? While you trying to figure out all that, we're just going to sit in the house.
That's it, yeah.
We're going to sit in the house or we are going to run a defensive line pass rushing scheme to your weakest pass blocker. We may do a cross stunt. You know what I mean? That's what I seen with Green Bay. Green Bay literally was hitting stunts with him. But then also, I mean, Michael Parsons was just bull rushing. He just found ways to get to him. It's either he found ways to get to him or he made him get him off his pivot.
You know what's interesting? I never know, and I don't know what Minnesota's situation is, but something that goes unnoticed a lot of times is offensive lineman injuries. Mm-hmm. A lot of times teams will be experiencing some offensive lineman injuries.
Especially tackles.
And we won't know. We'll just see a regression in their performance. They'll start off strong, season strong, and then all of a sudden start taking a couple L's that are just uncharacteristic. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? But a lot of times we don't pay attention to those O-lineman injuries because if your trenches start going down, even your D-line, your D-line O-line, trenches start going down, that's a major impact.
You can't win without the big
players.
You can't win without them.
No.
And that's why I was talking about whenever it comes to Minnesota, I'm going to take a deeper look at them and see how their injuries are. But even so, whenever you are a highly drafted pick, specifically at the quarterback position, and they've been so patient as a franchise in your first year. Your second year, they're looking for you to go ahead and just take off. They're looking for you to actually skip a couple of steps. Which is tough to do whenever you haven't had the physical experience of the energies that are on the field, how these Hall of Famers are moving, how these cover schemes really look versus on the sideline and on film versus actually in person, how they react to you at quarterback, what personnel you have in the backfield, who's specifically in the backfield, why they actually want to blitz you because of the personnel, why they want to show blitz and then back off because of your personnel. That all matters about the energy of who's at quarterback, because it's either you're a threat or you're just another player on the football field. That's the reason why whenever you have a Joe Flacco's a gunslinger and he will pick you apart. But if you have 4 down linemen that can pass rush him because of his athletic ability being a little bit limited versus a lot of the youthful quarterbacks in the league, an example like that, then they'll just use 4 down linemen. But whenever you are kind of confused at quarterback, they're going to sit in the house.
We sit in the house.
Yeah, we ain't got
We're
time
going to
for
get in
that.
your head.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to get you on the ground quickly. Get you rattled.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, Green Bay got the dub. Good for them. That was a good conference win. They're in the same conference, right? The Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago, Indianapolis, something like that.
Yeah, I know Green Bay and Minnesota. I think they're in the same conference. That's always been a traditional game, just like freaking Dallas and Philly.
Just like Dallas and Philly, right?
Yeah, they will forever play each other.
Yeah. Well, let's roll on down to KC in Indianapolis, man. That was a hard-fought game.
Definitely a hard-fought game, man.
That was like a championship level game, right?
A championship level game where you are seeing a Kansas City team that's starting to believe in themselves again.
For sure.
Because no one's scared of them. And I noticed that, like, a lot of these teams have been playing them. Of course, everyone's going to give you a Super Bowl. But, of course, we know Kansas City's also had to battle a few injuries. They're back healthy now. When you have Rashee Rice, freaking Xavier Worthy, you know what I mean, Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt had 30 carries this game. Here's the thing. 30 carries is a team that is seeing, hey, we need to get in playoff mode and we need to get into it now. Because now we have to play time of possession. We know Kansas City can put up 40 on you, but we also know Kansas City can be a pest and play time of possession and literally eat you alive.
We already talked about that.
Yeah, because they can. They can do it. And like, I'm looking here. Patrick Mahomes, 29 for 46, 352. 352 yards. 1 INT, but that's okay. It's okay when you have a running back that runs for 30 carries, 104 yards, and touchdown. But it's even better when you have a wide receiver that's making clean clutch passes or catches. And Rashee Rice, he had 8 receptions for 141 yards. Like, that's a big deal. And the thing is, one, like these receptions were at the beginning, this is spread out during the game. And, they did enough to win, but the Colts, they're going to have to figure out a little something because they had chances to close out this game. This game went into overtime. And, I mean, if we was a sports betting type of people, I would say automatically I'm betting on the Chiefs in an overtime game.
1,000%.
That was just automatic. They had a chance to close them out, and they did, and they kept them in the game. And as a result, I mean, it is what it is. Chiefs are back. They needed that game because now they're sitting at 6-5, and that was one of the hugest games because you can't get into a whole 6-5 sounds way better than 5-6.
Hell yeah,
because it can go really, really backwards from 5-6 all the way to not even winning no more games because you feel defeated. Because they seem like the type of team, it's Super Bowl or bust.
Oh, it is. It is. It's not like a rebuild. If you don't make it to the Super Bowl, at least make it, right? Unsuccessful year. That's kind of how the game is these days, right? It used to be, you know what I mean? If you had a successful season, you kind of ride home, as a fan, like, we did good this year. Okay, we'll get good next year. Now it's like, if you don't make the Super Bowl, everybody fired.
Yep.
The whole team, they reshuffling the board. And it's just like, you got to lay bricks, build upon, the slow but steady progress. But speaking to your point about Indianapolis, they're still young, and that's the thing that we saw about KC. And that's why I almost laughed because when I looked at the TV and I seen that KC was fighting back and it was a close game, I'm like, Indianapolis is tough, man. They really need to pull this one out as like a measuring stick, as a statement. Like, we're here. You know what I mean? And then you see KC kind of fight back, and I'm like, oh, that's KC. And when they were down, and traditionally people will be throwing that ball, right, to hurry up and try to score to get a lead, right? And they started feeding the ball to Hunt. I'm like, that is methodical.
Very.
I looked at the TV. I said, they about to slice them up. They just put in, they put that, they brought that lab coat out. Now they get methodical. Now this is the part of championship caliber teams that we don't pay attention to. Philly's kind of the same way, right? Once they start going a little against the grain, what everybody would assume, let's just hurry up, try to score, and then start slowing it down. They're thinking about something else. They're thinking about overtime. They're like, this game's gotten a little out of hand. It's gotten a little away from us. Okay, in order for us to get the victory, they ain't playing for the lead. In order for us to win, not only do we have to make sure that we score, we have to make sure that we prevent them from scoring.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't about hurry and put up 7 and they come down, put up 7.
Yeah.
No. They slowed that thing down. So the only person doing any scoring from here on out, 2020, is going to be us.
Right, it's going to be us. Yep.
Well, stop us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And they got too many weapons. I think Mahomes finally has a number one. And I think you see that when Rashi comes back. When he actually comes back and is healthy, you see what it looks like having a number one receiver for Pat Mahomes. Mm-hmm. Xavier Worthy, I think, is capable. I don't know. It's not quite as dynamic as when Rashi is there. It seems like Rashi you can put anywhere on the field, everywhere on the field. He can run the ball. He can catch it. He can do short routes. He can do long routes. He's just a true number one. Get the ball in his hands. He's a bailout. He's everything, right? He knows how to react. Once Mahomes get to scrambling, he knows how to find a way to just get open, kind of like Kelsey does, right? Mm-hmm. That's when Kelsey gets a lot of his dump yards. Yep. It ain't the fact that he's just blazing fast, run past any linebackers anymore. It's the fact that once Mahomes start getting out that pocket, he know how to find an open spot on the field and just boop, right? Anyway, that was a statement not only for Indianapolis if they would have won. That was a big-ass statement for KC to actually pull out that dub because they showed, hey, man, whoever you line up in front of us, we can take them down. I don't care if that thing is ugly or pretty.
Yeah.
You only need one dub for one game to win the Super Bowl. That's it. You just need to win it.
And especially, in the NFL, like every game is a victory. So, I hear, a lot of, spectators, online and stuff and even through media too that talk about, oh, well, like it was, like it was the Jets, it's the Raiders, oh, you're playing against, a team that don't have that much and this, that, and the other. In the NFL, some games are going to be ugly. I don't care who you're playing. That's why I want to talk about the Jets and the Ravens next. But before we
let's roll on down.
But before we get to that, I think I just want to say one more thing about the Chiefs because, for them to go against a Colts team that's running hot, kind of like Seattle is right now, it's huge for their confidence. So huge because it's not easy winning in the NFL. You can't win in the NFL. It's not easy. So for you to be able to overcome some of these hiccups right now, because just like Kansas City sitting at 6-5, hey, Baltimore sitting at 6-5 too after that. You know what I mean? It's tough to win in this league, but for you to be able to scratch and crawl after having a struggling season, they're probably one of the more dangerous teams in the league. Sometimes it's not about the records, it's about momentum. So just wanted to say that. But
100%.
Going on to the Jets and the Ravens, final score 23-10 Baltimore. Really good game for Baltimore's defense. Offense, not as good. Felt like their offensive line was struggling against the Jets' defensive line when it comes to just pass blocking because it seemed like, usually it's easy to see Lamar Jackson escape a lot of plays, but they was keeping him pretty grounded this game. I was a little upset with that because of the fact that they have too good of a team to be able to play down to the Jets' strength. I feel like this game they wasn't as aggressive as they could have been on offense. They wasn't as aggressive as a team.
They're supposed to put up 40.
Easily. You're playing against a backup quarterback too, in Tyrod Taylor, who's a good quarterback, but he's still in that backup role where y'all should be trying to establish y'all's dominance as a team.
Ramping up.
Mm-hmm. Derrick Henry had a couple of TDs. Lamar, he had an okay game. He didn't have to really do too much. Zay Flowers had a couple of key first down drives to help them continue to keep going on offense. But they're going to have to fix a few things going forward. But to that point about playing teams that are 2-9, 2-8, they have nothing to lose, bro. And in the NFL, these are still professional football players. So I still want to give them a little flowers because
Yeah.
hats off to them. You still have to find ways to win. They have now. They're on I believe a 5-game winning streak. Kudos to them.
Kudos to Lock Nation, man. Keep flying high. I mean, that was a statement game. The New York Giants, I mean, the Jets generally have a pretty tough defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I get why they kind of struggled a little bit. They probably underestimated the team. Didn't quite bring their A game. They still pulled out a victory. I mean, that's what it's supposed to look like when you're playing a undermanned team. You go out there, you kind of give a B game, you get an opportunity to kind of sit back a little bit, still get the dub. But right now, to your point, where we're at right now in the season, they should be ramping up. They should be not looking at the Jets as an opportunity to breathe a little bit. They should be coming out and deploying everything that they got, all the playoff packages they thinking about. You know what I mean? Just try to get it warmed up.
It has to start.
Get it warmed up. They're not one of those, you can't hold it back because they haven't had success in the playoffs. It's different if you had success.
Yeah.
You guys are going to have to get the reps, get the timing, get all that stuff done, get it down, get that offense rolling and clicking like a well-oiled machine, and let them do the film on whatever they're going to do, and you just go out there and let the better man win. Lamar gets it with his legs, but I would like to see a lot more offensive productivity out of that game. I agree with you on that. Let's shoot down to Cleveland and LV.
Man, Viva Las Vegas.
What about your boy?
I tell you, there's a difference in the energy levels of Shedeur Sanders being in the game versus Dylan Gabriel when it comes to the team feeling like there's a chance.
1,000%.
We saw it last week when Jerry Jeudy caught that drag pass from Shedeur and he scratched and crawled for those 10 yards. I haven't seen Jerry Jeudy do that dang near his whole career, really try to get your yards after contact like that. This game, the playmaking, I think about Quinshon Judkins getting a couple of touchdowns in the red zone, but it was a lot of it, and the majority of it was because of Shedeur's playmaking ability. He threw that ball. I saw a Las Vegas Raiders team that blitzed Shedeur the same way Baltimore Ravens did last week, and they blitzed him. This time, Shedeur caught on to it. He rolled out to the left side, got out that pocket, kept his eyes down the field, threw a dime, absolute dot to that boy Isaiah Bond from Texas. And what's funny about that, or a dime to Isaiah Bond. Here's the thing that's interesting about it. Isaiah Bond was one of those superstar wide receivers coming out of college too. Just got into a little trouble, got into a few hiccups, but he's back. But the point being is this dude is so talented. And I hear so many different sports analysts and so many sports
media. Bond is good.
Yes, and they talk about how Cleveland don't have wide receivers. What you talking about? Isaiah Bond he's a first round talent.
So is Tillman.
Yes. Tillman is
he's like 6'5".
Yes, bro. First round talent in freaking Isaiah Bond that actually just slipped into Cleveland's hand. What's funny about this 2025 class with Dylan Sampson, Quinshon Judkins,
Sampson's fast.
Shedeur Sanders. I'm about to say Cleveland also got a dominant linebacker. I can't think of his name right now, but he's another rookie. And then Isaiah Bond. That's a lot of loading up talent that they've got. That is something that they really need to be very happy and blessed that they can actually build off of that. But yeah, I know it's the Raiders, but it's still an NFL team. What Shedeur did with what he had, what he was given, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing to see. It really was. It's like, yeah, you threw that pick. Yeah, it was a little bit of an autopilot when it comes to his progression because he really stared down that hitch.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even when he released it seemed like that throw, the energy had a little bit of a too good to be true. But I'm gonna see if I can kind of, get this. It
feels like probably is somebody's baiting you.
Yeah, somebody's always baiting you.
If it look too good to be true,
it probably is.
Somebody over there waiting
on you. But that's all part of football, man. But you know what? I'm looking to see some good football for Cleveland going in the future.
Yeah.
They got themselves a dog.
Man, Las Vegas gonna figure it out. This ain't their year. Yeah. But they're gonna figure it out. They keep on building. They got Meyer, they got a new piece in Genty. They got to figure out what they're gonna do with a quarterback. I like Geno Smith. I wish him success. I just don't know if he's that guy. He might be heading into a backup role, moving forward. This is an opportunity for him to come out there and show and prove. And 10 points, come on, man. I know Cleveland defense is crazy, but I need to see a little bit more out of LV, man. They got enough talent to do a little bit, make it a little more noise. You know what I mean? And I'm not seeing it out of them. To your point with Cleveland, I agree with everything you said, man. Sherrod looked good for limited preparation and for coming out there and just having to do the best he can with what he has. And he showed his talent, showed his ability to make big throws. And I think that's the thing that was missing. We saw what it looks like when you manage the game on offense. With that defense, with the game manager, it's going to equal some tough losses. It's just the way that it is. They need just a little spark on offense. And I think that's the difference between Dillon and Shedeur. It's not that Dillon's a bad quarterback. He's kind of getting a negative shadow right now because Shedeur shines so bright. The Cleveland shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have brought in such a bright light, and then you got Dillon. I mean, that's just a happenstance of the organization. But anyway, so, I mean, you need a guy to come in there that's going to make that throw at that time because it's not like everything was going right for the offense. But the difference that the impact of a big play makes is, oh, shit, we have to adjust. When you're able to make a 50-yard pass and a 40-yard pass, and you're able to gash a defense like that, as a defensive player, we have to adjust now. We got to step back just a little bit because we got to respect you. Mm-hmm. Now, if you never throw it downfield, now we can start coaching up. Now we can blitz you. Now we can do all these kind of packages. We can get real busy. But, man, you launched that thing for 50 yards, 40 yards. Now we got to, just in case. Because that could have been a touchdown. Like, he stumbled and fumbled. He was about another little boop, boop from jumping into the end zone. Mm-hmm. And so I like that opportunity that Shedeur brings to that Cleveland offense. It gives him the opportunity to really unlock the talent that's really on that team. Like you said, Isaiah Bond is a sleeper. He's been productive with every quarterback that's been under center. Flacco, Dillon, and Shedeur. He still caught balls. Then you got Fannin Jr., who knew he was going to be as productive, as good as he is. And that's with alongside Njoku. Njoku's still there. He's still healthy.
You got to play chess, man.
Fannin is just handling his business.
There he is.
And so you got two strong tight ends. You got three deep at wide receiver. And the crazy part about one of those passes to Tillman in that corner, I don't know if you remember when Jameis Winston and Tillman had a connection. That's when I saw how talented he was. For a minute, Tillman was like top in fantasy production. I don't know if people remember that from last year. Mm-hmm. Dude was going off. And that's because he had Jameis just launching that thing to him. And when you put the ball in the area and let talent show itself, that's when you have magic. You see what I mean? And they got a couple guys like that between Jerry Jeudy and Tillman. They just have to trust now. I could tell. He came out of that block and he didn't think he was getting the ball. Hell, it's been the whole season and you never get the ball. Yeah. You run past 30 yards, the ball's not coming at your way. And so I saw that little timing matchup at 6'5", that little lob he threw, that probably would have been a touchdown. So I'm excited to see, like, once they start trusting who they got under center now, if it remains, because we don't know, Stefanski may pull the little switch on us, you know what I'm saying? But it's going to be nice to see once they start trusting and getting the timing together like these guys, these downfield threats. Once they really understand that they got a QB that can put it out there, it's going to be exciting football.
You are spot on. It's going to be very exciting football because Shedeur is actually going to help Cleveland save money. And I'm going to explain why. Because you want to sit there and you want to get all these superstar talent wide receivers and you want to give them money. But if you have nobody that can throw them the football, that means that they are not getting their full value. Versus these receivers, Shedeur can make anybody look like a star.
He's going to make anybody look like a star.
And the thing is, when it comes to, because to your point, whenever he threw it out there to Tillman didn't think that ball was going to go out there. But here's the thing, when it comes to a quarterback stretching the field, and this has nothing to do with Dillon Gabriel when it comes to his lack of talent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's a great football player, but there's some football players who are willing to take a little bit more risk.
Right.
But it's called controlled
risk.
Like controlled risk, like controlled chaos and risk. When Shedeur throws deep, he's also helping out a David Njoku and a Harold Fannin to be able to have a little bit more of the middle of the field open because of the fact that deep threat is happening, which means what defenses have to be very alert that deep pass is something where I don't care who's back there, we're going to launch that sucker.
Deeper than the deepest, you got to stay back.
If you want to pick me off or not, you're going to have to get deep.
You're going to have to.
And as a result, that allows for a Harold Fannin to get open and to use his natural athletic ability when it comes to catching the ball and what he can do after he catches the football. It's absolutely amazing. I was thinking about, and I want to give David Njoku his credit too, because when Dylan Sampson caught that pass from Shedeur, he kept that safety right in the middle of the field just to boom, throw that quick pass to Dylan Sampson, and even though it was a short pass for a 6-7 yarder, it was how he stalled. It's how he stalled that safety because every
Kept that defense from shifting.
Like, and yes, in football, everything is like a game of inches and angles. And so just from that little stallment, that was just enough.
Allowed him to crib it.
Bro. And that kind of stuff played a role. And when I was talking about David Njoku and Harold Fannin assisted on that block for him to get that 67. So when you have that stuff gets rewarded down the line. You know, with the David Njoku, it gets rewarded down the line. So I'm thinking about these games going forward. I mean, hey, yeah, they may be sitting at 3-8, but they ain't at 2-9 this morning.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, before we head out, man, special shout out to Dallas.
Yes.
Pulling out that dub over Philly yesterday.
Man.
Special shout out to the Rams. Pulling it out over Tampa Bay.
Bell to, you know.
Yeah. Dominant performance. D. Adams doing his thing at 2 tubs. Who else special shout out?
Mr. Efficiency himself. Puka Nacua. Because he was also part of that nice, efficient slaughter fest that they put on Tampa Bay. He started it early and very often for the LA Rams.
From beginning to end.
Yes.
From beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice to see Dallas kind of fight back and grit it out and pull it out. Because normally they wouldn't. You know, normally they let those kind of slip away, but it was nice to see them rally, come from behind, the defense clamping down. Now that's something to look out for, is that defense.
So Dallas' superpower is no matter how good you are, they will match your energy. But what comes with superpowers comes a great responsibility.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're irresponsible. They're irresponsible because they have the superpower where they can match your talent. And if you're the greatest, they can beat you. But if you're the worst, they can lose.
They can play down there too.
Mm-hmm. And so, just, I was thinking about that boy George Pickens, and I was thinking about CeeDee Lamb in that game. Here's the thing. So that defense has gotten a lot better. It's because of that pass rush.
Yeah.
That pass rush has played a role. Pass rush / run stopping. I'm just going to say the defensive front has played a role because now that slowed everything down in the secondary.
Yep.
Now the secondary can cover a little bit longer. They can like, let's say if they come out of a break, the ball's not necessarily getting to that receiver whenever that DB's also trying to get out that break. He can kind of stumble and get back into covering his defender because of the fact that defensive front is putting such a pass rush and a mind control on the offensive line and on the quarterback of opposing teams. Now, here's the thing that I like. I like how they scratched and crawled, and I like how Dak kept throwing the ball down the field. I can't emphasize anymore how important it is in the NFL to do that. But the biggest thing, George Pickens, you know how they say a 1A and a 1B? We may have to rename A and 1A plus.
1A
plus.
Yeah.
Because
just one.
Yeah, or just one.
You got 2 1s.
Because CeeDee Lamb had a crucial deep pass on the right sideline, and it was beautiful. And he's such a great talent. But to compliment CeeDee with a George Pickens, that's so dangerous, bro. It's so dangerous, dog.
Because they're catching balls when they're not even open.
Man.
They're not even open.
You saw George Pickens jump over 2 defenders,
You're not supposed to catch those. That's such a luxury for a quarterback to have, to just put it in the area.
There's only a few receivers in the NFL that can even do that. Like jump over that have that will, and like I don't care what my body does, I'm gonna make sure I secure this pass. And whatever happens after that, happens after that. That's a fearless energy, and I only know a couple of people that can do that. One is a rookie, and he's trying to get himself together, and Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
And the other one, I know I can give credit to a T. Higgins because Higgins will do that. Justin Jefferson will do that. But it's about 5 good receivers, and George Pickens is up there.
I'm gonna tell you one of the best legends in the game to do it. Steve Smith.
Oh, Smitty. Woo!